Hey guys, so today I want to talk about contemporary music because this is so new and different for this channel. But I kind of wanted to talk about my journey to where I am and why I love contemporary music so much. So maybe you guys can have a little insight into what I do and also maybe think about what you're doing a little bit more critically and find your niche a little bit quicker than I did, or just find your love for contemporary music, because there's a lot of people who really don't understand the world that I live in, and I understand that because it is a little bit more amorphous than the orchestra world is, but it really means the world to me and it's something I want to share with you guys. So, I started playing contemporary music in 2007, officially, basically, when I joined Contemporary Youth Orchestra, which is based in Cleveland. It is an amazing organization that I was really, really proud to be a part of for 3 years. It's basically a contemporary only youth orchestra, and it's not incredibly adventurous in their programming. It's still very approachable, very easy to figure out as a student, but it still premieres pieces every single year. They commission a full concerto every year, and it's really a great first experience of learning music from scratch, where there's no recordings, there's no precedent. You have to really own the music because there's no other way to do it. And then moving into Toronto, I was comfortable with new music. I knew how to work on a premiere. I knew how to go about learning music that had never been played before. And I really enjoyed it. And so I sought out opportunities with student composers and with the new music ensemble, and got more comfortable in the language and the writing and the notation, and started really building my contemporary repertoire. I had a really incredible teacher in Toronto who was also a contemporary specialist, along with being an incredible freelancer in other fields. And she was really, really great in supporting me and making sure that I was learning rep in the contemporary side of things, as well as my more traditional repertoire. And then she introduced me to Takemitsu voice. And I think that's the piece that was really my turning point. I have always been a very uncomfortable person up until that point. I was very, very shy and very uncomfortable with my own being, and while that doesn't really show now in the way that I carry myself and the way I present myself, it was something that was really, really difficult for me to figure out how to get over. Because the reality is I am a very extroverted person, I am a very social person, but I didn't know how to handle myself or how to present myself. And part of that was also like personal expression, shaving my head, but performing voice and performing a piece where I had to shout and I had to really commit to these actions and these things that made me uncomfortable helped push me out of my shell. I was able to kind of find my voice as a performer a little bit more, and I was also able to find my voice as a person a little bit more, because I was forced to go so far out of what I thought I could do. I was really uncomfortable with performance art and speaking and things where you really have to commit or else you're gonna get laughed at, because I was really afraid of being laughed at. But I discovered that one, if you commit to it 100%, no one's ever gonna laugh at you. They're going to respond to it. And two, I really loved it and it was invigorating. So that was really a big, big moment for me. It was finding that piece and finding that I really, really loved doing that stuff. So moving into Indiana, I was again really lucky that my teacher was a contemporary specialist and very much on board with helping me expand my repertoire and facilitating collaboration with composers and just doing so much stuff. I always say my last semester there, I swear I played like 30 concerts in a semester. And it was so much fun and so cool, and I got to work with so many amazing composers and help bring their pieces to life. And I really, really love helping composers get their voices out there, and also being able to meld my own voice, which has become stronger through contemporary music, with theirs to make this really awesome symbiotic creation. And I think that's what makes me so passionate about contemporary music and new music in general, is that it is in flux. It's changing all the time, and you're working with people who are in the room, so it has more organic qualities. Well, yes, you can put your own interpretive spin on some of the more traditional repertoire. You're still kind of stuck in the tradition. There is a performance practice and there's a tradition that you have to follow, or else there's kind of this question mark. With contemporary music, there's never a question of, is this okay? Because there's no precedent. And that's really exciting, and it's invigorating, and it's fun. The other thing with contemporary music is that we get to be a part of the group that's pushing music forward. I get to explore the new things, and I get to be part of the group that makes these things standard and figures out what we can do. If you look at music of the last 50 years, it's changed so much, and there's so many capabilities that we've discovered. You guys know that I love the sound of flute and voice with one single player flute and voice. And that's something that's still being worked with. That's something that's still being manipulated. And for me, as a performer and baby composer, and someone who's really just discovering my voice as a writer, that sound and that sound world and being able to figure out what to do with it is so exciting for me. And I understand that a lot of people aren't super interested in creating music in terms of from scratch, and I get that. Honestly, 2 years ago, I never would have been this excited about improvisation and composition and writing my own music, basically. And that's part of the discomfort that I feel with my own voice in music. But through working with all these amazing composers and being able to put my own voice on their music, I've discovered my own voice. And that's really exciting too. It's helping me figure out who I am as a musician and as a person, and contemporary music has really been that grounding point for me. That no matter what's going on in my life and what I'm dealing with and what I'm learning and where I am, there's new music happening, and there's people who are working with me and talking with me and discussing what they want to do and helping me figure out what I want to do in the process. And that's really exciting. The close contact that I get with all of these composers and collaborators and all of these people is really exciting for me and really fun, and also just has allowed me to grow as a person. And that's something that really means a lot to me, because I am not the same person I was even a year ago. And that has everything to do with these projects and these people that I'm working with and this music that I'm playing. And I understand that this world isn't for everyone, and it's not something that speaks to you as much as it speaks to me. But finding that niche that does speak to you is incredibly important, and when you do, it suddenly just clicks, and that's such a cool feeling. I just got back from the Splice Institute, which is probably my favorite summer festival I've ever been to. I'm gonna link their website. If you don't know about them, please go check them out. They run a full week-long festival every year, and they also have mini festivals throughout the year. There's one in November at Bowling Green University, so if you're around there, please go check them out. It's really amazing. It's all electroacoustic music, and they really focus on every level of experience, from beginner performer to beginner composer to people who work in this field. So, Splice is awesome. Go check them out. If you like this video, please give it a like. If you're new here, subscribe. If you want to support me more, check out my Patreon, and I will see you guys on Thursday.